Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Another live stream for the handful of people that may join me or may watch the live stream after the fact. I'm just going to check my audio, just bear with me. Ooh, oh, that's why. Hang on. Okay, hopefully that's okay. Just checking the audio, checking the audio. You know what? What about now? Is that even louder? You know what? What about now? Is that even louder? I think it is. I think it is. All right, so we're 3 minutes in, and it's just been a load of twaddle so far. I'm happy with the audio. I couldn't hear it for a minute, but that was because I had my headphones plugged in. So, like I've said before, if you've watched a live stream of mine before, I mean, I do make it clear that I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Come on. You can't hold your expectations too high, and nor should you, because this is free entertainment. Entertainment in inverted commas. This is not a quality production. I am not a quality uh, journalist, commentator, content creator, contributor, or any of those things. I'm just some guy that's a little bit bored that decides for some reason, one reason or another, maybe multiple minor reasons, that it's a good idea to make a habit out of making live streams. Um, and maybe it is a good habit, maybe it isn't. But fuck it, let's make it a habit. And then, once it is a habit, let's evaluate it at that stage. I mean, um, I go to other live streams, and I've been to over the years. Let's say I've been to many different people's live streams. A lot of people do like making live streams. They make it their habit. Now, just because they enjoy it doesn't mean that it's the right thing for everyone to do or that everyone will enjoy it. But you can see that a lot of people do enjoy it. And I do enjoy going to some live streams, very, very few. I won't mention the name of the one that I go to yeah, right now. I've mentioned it to some people that come into the chat, namely Stephen Greer, who's not here. Where are you, Stephen? Come on. Um, and and where's Tommy? That's right. Where Tommy gone? He's fucking vanished, doesn't he? What's he playing at? He thinks he can just come and go like he pleases, does he? What the hell? Um, what am I talking about? Oh yeah. So most most live streams I do not enjoy watching. So that's one of the reasons why I thought maybe it's time for me to start making some live streams, because there has been this niggling at the back of my head thinking, are you guys that do these live streams, you're just drunks? That's all you're doing. And not all of them, of course, but a lot of them do rely very heavily on going online, going on a stream, and drinking. That's what they are. They're drink streams. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's an audience for that, but I watch these and I'm like, where's the humor? Where's the interesting topics? Where's the conversation? Largely, it's all a big nothing. The people that go on the live stream seem to enjoy it. They get to know each other, they're friends with each other, whatever. Um, and some of the regulars also join in, but largely a lot of these live streams are bullshit. There's only one regular one that I go to. There's a second one which is also very good. But yeah, I'm just looking to create something relatively pleasant in this kind of online landscape that we share. Somewhere pleasant. So That's enough ramble. How much ramble is it so far? God, nearly 7 minutes so far rambling already. So I'll start off. I'll try to get into gear, but ultimately, I don't really care. I don't need to be in gear. Fuck you. You want me in gear? Trying to give you a structured live stream? Fuck you. Who the fuck are you, buddy? But I will in any case. Fine, you pushed me into it. So I'll tell you what I do in these live streams. What I do is I review a number of online articles, actually six of them, six online publications, news publications, which include Daily Mail, Breitbart News, Daily Wire, Drudge Report, Post Millennial, and Zero Hedge. Now, I think you would agree that they tend to be of a right wing or conservative nature. Steady on, didn't say they're fucking far right. They're not fucking far right. They're just like normal, moderate newspapers. Although Breitbart gets heavily criticised by the leftists, and so does the Daily Mail, probably the others too. Now, in addition to that, I scan through those half a dozen publications. I also look through my Feedly feed, which is an aggregate site, I believe is the best description for that, and that shows me hundreds of headlines of articles daily. And I scroll through those headlines, and I pick out those articles that I feel are either important, potentially important, or at least somewhat of interest to me. Don't give a fuck about what you find of interest. You're interested in stamp collecting? Fine, go fucking find another live stream that will talk about about stamp collecting. Yeah, I'm not interested in stamp collecting. I'm interested in the bullshit articles that I'm going to bring up and discuss to some extent this evening in this live stream, which should go on for about an hour, but maybe it will go on for more, maybe it won't. I don't think it will because I've got a headache and I'm about to take some headache pills. Bear with me a moment. Now you might be thinking that that was a sick narcissistic ploy to gain sympathy, um, so that to elicit a thumbs up, a like, a comment, or a subscribe. And you'd be wrong, actually. You'd be wrong. I do want all of those things. They give you a nice hit of dopamine, but I've been so unsuccessful in my YouTube career, let's say, in my YouTube. I mean, I don't mean that in any way seriously, but that's the kind of thing people say. Career, their video game career. So if you play Rocket League, then you know that you refer to your Rocket League career. So my YouTube career, which is not a career, um, I've been extremely unsuccessful. In fact, the number of subs that I have keeps going down, and that's great. Actually, I prefer that. I did at one stage go to a certain channel, and our YouTube channel, and they promote other small channels, and they encourage people to sub for sub kind of thing. And from that, I did gain like 30 subs, something along those lines, which isn't big, but I've only got 100. I only had 130 in total, so give or take a quarter or a fifth of my total subs. And I regret that because although it was nice at the time to get an extra 10 subs, an extra 20 subs, 30 subs, just felt a little bit dirty. I mean, I didn't even ask for it. I just went to these channels and was just chatting in them like I would in any other channel. But I did feel dirty that people were only subbing to me because I was present in these certain channels. So if they want to leave my channel and unsubscribe, that's actually a good thing. I prefer that in all honesty. But whatever. Now got 127 subs. It's a number. Whatever. What the fuck? What do I care? I mean, I don't care. If I had 1,000 subs, then I can activate monetization. So that's something. It would mean I would be able to I'd be allowed to um, activate, what is it called, super chats. I'd be able to activate memberships, things like that. If I had 1,000 subs, then that would allow me to do a couple of things which, I'd rather have that option than not have it. But what's the chances of me getting to 1,000 subs? I've been having a YouTube channel for nearly 2 years, so I don't see it happening. If it does happen, it's not going to happen in a hurry. So, like, what, it's not something that I think about. And of course, you see all of these other channels that do have 1,000 subs and they get monetization, but they don't get any money from it. The video, the ad sense, I think it's called AdSense, the ad views. You've really got to get quite a large number of views, tens of thousands, 50,000 views or more, to get a significant amount of money from a video. I believe that's the um, don't even know what the word I'm thinking about, but I think that's roughly accurate. And I think if you get 50,000 videos, you might be looking at $100 US, maybe a couple of $100 US, but it's not like a huge, it's not like a proper huge amount. So all these people that put in a lot of effort to make their videos and to develop their channel, I mean, most of them fail, I would say. I would obviously most of them do, but even the ones that hit a certain level, like 1,000 subs, 10,000 subs, maybe even 50,000 subs. I doubt 50,000 subs, but I would say if you've got 10,000 subs, it's likely to be meaningless. Not in all cases, but I'd say my guess is in most cases, it's going to be financially meaningless in terms of financials. So if you are doing YouTube for financial reasons and there's nothing wrong in doing so, then my guess is that you really do need a shit ton of subs and views to get a really good financial benefit from it. Unless, of course, the community that you develop are there throwing memberships at you, throwing super chats at you. Am I in it for the money? Well, I mean, yes and no. So I would love to be able to make money from making YouTube videos. Wouldn't that be wonderful? If it was something I could do on an ongoing basis, throw up a 1 hour long live stream every day, whatever, and to get paid a good amount of money to do that. If that was my so-called job or whatever, wouldn't that be wonderful? Yes, it would. And it would also be wonderful if I picked up a guitar and within 2 weeks was better than Jimi Hendrix. That would also be wonderful. It's not going to happen though, is it? So I realized that. So that's fucking hell. That is 15 minutes of rambling. If I were to get paid for the number of minutes I can ramble, fuck me dead. I'd be doing very well. But I don't think that will be the case. You're not going to pay me to ramble. No one else is going to pay me to ramble. So, White Sismel, shut the fuck up and get into the first article. That's what we're here for. All 0 viewers. Maybe I'll get 2 or 3 join as we move forward. I've actually stopped checking if I get concurrent viewers. It kind of depresses me when I see that there isn't. So I just defeated myself there by checking in momentarily. But that's all I'm going to do. That's it, hopefully. But it is nice when there's someone here to say hello. It is nice. So, please come say hello. Please say hello. Please say hello. Come on, give me some human interaction. I don't even care if it's a bot. That would be fine. I don't mind saying hello to a bot. Anyway, here's the first article. The first article is, again, we're revisiting the same subject because there's a minor development. So this is about the McCloskeys. The fucking McCloskeys. Remember these guys? The white supremacist McCloskeys. You got McCloskey woman, you got McCloskey man. Look at them brandishing their weapons, pointing them willy-nilly at whoever they please, as long as that person is a person of color. That's what these guys do. They wave their guns around. So what do we know about the situation? Well, they have an extremely nice house in St. Louis, I think, is the correct location. And Black Lives Matter, dozens of them. Black Lives Matter peaceful protesters, you know, the ones that burn down pawn shops when people are in them. You know, the one that goes around shooting retired police officers. That peaceful protester, Black Lives Matter group, well, they decided that they would trespass on their extremely nice property, dozens of them. And they also, the peaceful protester Black Lives Matter guys, also allegedly threatened the lives of the McCloskeys as well as their pets, and threatened to damage or indeed destroy their property. Bear in mind, this is at a time when, oh, I mean, is it possible to say hundreds of arson attacks had happened within the days and weeks prior? Hundreds? Is that accurate? Certainly dozens. Easy. I can easily say dozens, multiple dozens of arson attacks that have burnt and destroyed dozens of properties across many different cities across the United States. That's the context. So these guys pulled out their weaponry and pointed. They pulled them out, and the lady, without question, was pointing her gun at people, at the Black Lives Matter peaceful protesters. Unquestionably, she was. It looks like she was completely mishandling the weapon. They got into trouble. First of all, there was a warrant to remove the guns, to take them away, and then following that, they were charged with a felony and a misdemeanor in regards to pointing the guns at people. And these guys are lawyers, by the way, and they were just protecting their property and their lives. So the latest development, what this article tells us, is that both guns were confiscated by the authorities, and the pistol that the Mrs. McCloskey is holding, it was a non-firing pistol. It was a non-firing pistol, and seemingly, when the prosecutors went to test the pistol, they discovered that it was a non-firing pistol. So what they did, what the authorities did upon the orders of one of the authorities, I mean, it will tell us if I look at it properly. What they did is they deassembled the gun, the pistol, and then they reassembled it such that it did fire. So, you know, as far as I understand, if you want to deactivate your gun, you just swap a couple of parts around. You still keep those parts in the gun, but they're just swapped around such that it will not work. It will not fire. And if you want to reactivate the gun, you just swap the parts back. If you know what you're doing, you can do it, you know, quite easily. Seemingly, that's what the prosecutors have done. So I'll read through the article, might as well. No one's here. Let's fill up a bit of time, 20 minutes already. The pistol Patricia McCloskey waved at protesters who broke down a gate to trespass on their private street was a non-operable prop used during a lawsuit they were involved in. So a member of Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's staff ordered the crime lab to disassemble and reassemble the gun, allowing them to classify it as a capable of lethal use. In Missouri, police and prosecutors must prove that a weapon is readily capable of lethal use when it is used in the type of crime with which the McCloskeys have been charged. Assistant Circuit Attorney Chris Hinckley ordered crime lab staff members to field strip the handgun and found it had been assembled incorrectly. Specifically, the firing pin spring was put in front of the firing pin, which was backward, and made the gun incapable of firing. Fire experts then put the gun back together in the correct order and test fired it, finding that it worked, according to the documents. So Basically, that's my understanding of it. That these guys were the pistol, was a non-working pistol, a deactivated pistol, and the charges that were laid against Mrs. McCloskey could only be upheld in a court of law. This is my guesswork. Uh, if it were to be shown that the gun was readily capable of firing, which seemingly it wasn't, because the authorities um, investigated the gun, examined the gun rather, and found that it was a non-firing gun. So I guess the McCloskeys could have been super motherfucking crafty. They could have been super motherfucking crafty, couldn't they? And it could have been a firing gun, which after the incident and prior to the gun's confiscation, I guess there was a window of time there for the McCloskeys to have arranged for the pistol, at least, to be turned into a defiring gun. Could have happened. Who knows? But there's an additional aspect there. So if the McCloskeys are being upfront and honest, then the Mrs. McCloskey is in the clear. You know, she can't. I would think that would be my guess, but I can't see that it being fair and legitimate to charge her for pointing a capable gun at people when the gun was not capable of firing. You know. So I hope to see she does get off. I think she was the worst defender out of the two. She was pointing her gun at people, including her husband. She was not holding the gun in a safe way at all, is my opinion. Look, she's got the finger on the trigger. It's through the trigger hole, whatever that's called. You can see the finger poking out at the other side. She's not looking at where the gun is pointed. So, that is bad gun control. The guy at least is trying. The guy is at least trying, and it's arguable that he's at fault too. He did seemingly point it at people. Um, so I don't know. I hope these guys get off. At the end of the day, they were protecting their property and their lives. They had good reason to. They had dozens of infiltrators. They had dozens of people trespassing on their property, threatening them. I mean, come on, that's got to give you justification to brandish a weapon. They did not shoot their weapons. They did not shoot their weapons. They did not harm anybody. They did not kill anybody. All they did was say, hey, motherfuckers, you're on our property. Get the fuck out of here. We're prepared to defend ourselves. And that's all they did. Okay, fine. The woman in particular did not display the best gun control. Okay, so they're not perfect. I mean, you know what I mean. If you start a problem with me, don't expect me. Don't. If you start a problem with me, you're being an asshole towards me. Do not. You do not have the right to uphold my response to the highest of standards. If you're being a dirt rag towards me and you're showing low standards towards me, then okay, maybe you need to have some standards to my reaction, but they're not going to be the best standards. Do not expect the best from me when you're coming at me with your worst. That's a reasonable logic and approach to have, isn't it? I mean, I think that's my logic. By the way, this article is a zerohedge.com article, and it's been written by Tyler Durden, who is the star of the film Fight Club. I didn't know he was a journalist too. Let's have a look at the next article. Let's have the next look at the next article. Canadian CDC, don't know what that is, something to do with the health department, something. Canadian CDC gives the thumbs up to glory holes during pandemics. Now you know what a glory hole is. Remember when you don't have a partner. It's a Friday night. You don't have a partner. You feel like You want a bit of fellatio, or you want to give a bit of fellatio, well, what do? You go down to your local glory holes, plural, and you look for the glory holes in the wall. The Canada's Centre for Disease Control has said, well, that's fucking great, mate. We all like to do that, don't we? We're not going to get in the way of people enjoying their glory holes. So sure, there's a pandemic going on, but people have got to do what they want to do. And yeah, so they have said, the CDC have said, look, try to avoid or limit kissing and saliva exchange. Ooh, no, ooh, kissing, ooh, gross. Choose sexual positions that limit face-to-face contact. So arse to mouth. Sorry, not arse to mouth. Just the arse part of arse to mouth is fine. And it also recommends use barriers like walls, for example, glory holes, that allow for sexual contact but prevent close face-to-face contact. So yeah, there you go. The Canadian, Centre for Disease Control, double thumbs up to glory holes in this time of the pandemic. If you feel a little bit randy, don't kiss anybody. That's gross. Don't cuddle. Ooh. Don't hug. What are you, some kind of pervert? Just go down to your local glory hole and have at it. That's the advice from the Canadian CDC. Let's move on to the next article. Red Bull purges wokesters from the United States division. So, Red Bull's Austrian parent company fired a bunch of woke executives and managers from its United States division, including the CEO. By the way, I think I'm right in saying that the CEO, or Chief Executive Officer, is the top brass. I don't know if it's a guy or a woman. Yes, a woman. Amy, that's a woman's name. Top brass, top of the top. CEO generally. I mean, that's how businesses structure things differently. They use titles in different ways. Generally, the buck stops with the CEO. So the maker of Red Bull energy drinks has replaced its top US executives amid internal tensions over the closely held company's response to the Black Lives Matter movement. North America Chief Executive Amy Taylor, its North American President and Chief Marketing Officers have left the company. So Miss Taylor, the Chief Executive that has been fired, as far as I understand, had been working on diversity and inclusion efforts within the company for several years, but was met with opposition when she began advocating for Red Bull to be more overt in its support of racial justice in the last month. So basically, the chief executive officer was saying, we need Red Bull to make a stand. We need to grandstand. We need to virtue signal. We need to publicly support Black Lives Matter or whatever it is, racial injustice. We've got to call for the defunding of police, perhaps. We've got to agree with Ilhan Omar's rhetoric that we must all what's the word? I'm going to say disintegrate. It's not the right word though. Disintegrate, dismantle. That's it. We're going to need to dismantle institutional racism, systemic racism, wherever we find it. So even if we find it in our energy drinks, we must dismantle such systemic oppression. And seemingly, the top of the brass from Austria, their head office, they said, fuck that, you leftist, knockback, stupid motherfuckers. We are an energy drink company. This is something people enjoy the taste of. They enjoy the energy boost it gives them. It gives them wings, don't you fucking know? This ain't a racial matter. White people like our drinks, black people like our drinks, Asians, whatever, Middle Easterns, everyone likes our fucking drinks, yeah? We're not going to make this a racial issue. We're not going to make this a political issue. We're not going to lose 50% of our market share just by promoting a political ideology, especially one which is riddled with Marxism. Um, that's what Red Bull has said. So they've said, hey, Chief Executive Officer, you, fuck off. Oi, Marketing Manager, you, piss off, on your bike, never come back, sling your bloody hook, mate. That's what happened. That's what happened, and it's a shout out, isn't it? It's a dog whistle to everyone else in Red Bull. Shut your mouths, mate. Yeah, you don't like it, fuck off. You think you want to complain about Black Lives Matter? Do it on your own platform. You create, paint your hair pink or purple or green or whatever. Create your Twitter account. State that you're a he, him, or a she, her, or a z, that, and say whatever the fuck you want, but don't do it in the name of Red Bull. So what's my reaction to that? Well done, Red Bull. Well done. To me, it just shows a bit of strength, a bit of fortitude. Am I an idiot for that? Am I just repeating what I heard Tim Pool say? Didn't really listen to what he said too much, but I did. He did have this topic. He was discussing it, and I'm quite sure he was praiseworthy of the decision. Am I just repeating what I've heard from my echo chamber? I mean, maybe, but I mean, not purposefully, not super consciously. But ultimately, it does strike me as strength. The same way as Trump, on most occasions, in most of what he says, most of the his viewpoints, his standpoints that he takes, to me, I interpret as a show of strength. Because we can all bow down. We can all be bullied. We could all go, okay, we've got to start talking about Black Lives Matter because of the systemic oppression which is destroying the Western nations. Oh, okay then, fine, fair enough. Let's do that. Let's go ahead with that. But they're not doing that. They've said, no, fuck that. We're seeing through that rhetoric, or we're seeing the implicit dangers of that rhetoric. If we support Black Lives Matter, then those people, those consumers, those customers, those Red Bull energy drinkers that don't support Black Lives Matter may be upset about the stance we take. They may think, you know what, fuck you, Red Bull. I'm an all lives matter person myself, and you want to tell me in an indirect way that my beliefs are invalid. Fuck you, Red Bull. You know. Could be some backlash. So Red Bull are doing the right thing. They're making logical decisions, as far as I can tell. So well done, Red Bull. Congratulations. Round of applause. Everyone in the chat, please give Red Bull a round of applause. Oh look, no one's in the fucking chat. Oh well, okay. Time for the next article. Support for black-owned businesses increases more than 7,000%. So this is, I'm going through this article because I find it mildly interesting, and it may be valuable to have a little bit of awareness of this topic. I remember, a month, 6 weeks ago, towards the beginning of the peaceful protests that have ravaged United States cities, caused the arson attacks on dozens of buildings, if not hundreds. Well, when all of those peaceful protesters were going on, Yelp and other forums, online forums, started allowing businesses to state whether or not they were black owned. The reasoning being, well, a lot of people will start supporting black owned businesses as a means to counter the systemic oppression that blacks and people of color face every living moment of every single day. So that's what they did, and that has been warmly received. That approach, stating that you're a black-owned business, has led to an increase in business. It's been very good PR. It's been a very good promotional strategy, should you have made it publicly known that you are black owned. So if you're black, go out and buy a business. I mean, that's the message, because we're all supporting you. So, despite all of this systemic racism, somehow you're managing to increase your revenue and profits and such by 7,000%, despite all of this fucking racism, which is systematically oppressing all blacks. How many percent would it be if there wasn't any systemic racism? 7 million fucking percent. I mean, it's almost as if it's almost as if there isn't any racism, or the racism that does exist isn't that significant, when it can very quickly and easily be overwhelmed by a request for additional support. How can you say that the system is systemically racist when Minneapolis and New York PD have defunded their respective police departments and have declared that the funding will be redirected to black communities, people of color communities, and projects? So, well, that just proves that there's no systemic racism, or certainly, if there is systemic racism, it's not as big as they want it to appear to be. So so there's that. Just fucking around whilst I do this. Oh, there we go. I'll do that. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone was in chat. I'd ask them to comment on that. I think it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting that they've received so much support. You've got all of these social media. You've got the media. You've got social media. You've got big corporates. You've got governments. You've got cities, states. They're all saying, "Oh fucking hell! Oh, we've got to help all of the poor little vulnerable black people and people of color. Let's give them everything that they fucking want." Yeah, reparations. Ice Cube. Oh, Hollywood have got to give reparations for some bizarre reasons. Whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I just would think that if there was a significant amount of systemic oppression within the United States governments, local and federal, that these concessions would not have been made. And I would think that if there was a real racism problem in America, that the black-owned businesses wouldn't have increased by more than 7,000%. But who the fuck am I? I'm just some idiot making a YouTube live stream for no particular reason. By the way, if you are watching this after the fact, give me a like. Come on, don't fuck me around. Just give me a like. Don't even care if you subscribe. Do what you want. Here's the next article. China forces Christians to renounce their faith and to destroy Christian symbols or be cut off from welfare, says a report. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, oh, you know those guys. Oh, yeah, that's right. The ones that are holding apparently 3 million Uyghurs in captivity. Yeah, those ones, that's CCP. Well, they're reportedly forcing people of faith to renounce their beliefs and replace religious symbols and imagery with portraits of Chairman Mao and President Xi Jinping. So basically, here's a quote. It tells us what's going on. The participants, the people receiving welfare, were ordered to remove crosses, religious symbols, and images from the homes of people of faith who receive social welfare payments, and replace them with portraits of Chairman Mao and President Xi Jinping. So if you're in China and you receive welfare, perhaps because you're a pensioner, perhaps you're disabled or such. I don't know why. I don't know much or anything about the Chinese welfare system. But if you do receive welfare systems, then the CCP can come in take down your picture of Jesus. Take down your imagery of Allah. I mean, is there imagery of Allah? I don't know. I don't know if I've said the right thing there. But, they can remove your Jewish icon or symbols or whatever and replace them by Chairman Mao or pictures of Xi Jinping. I mean, so what's my comment on that? Well, it's very mind control-ish, isn't it? It's extremely. That is mind control. That is wrongthink in an extreme. The enforcement of wrongthink in an extreme. If you want money from the government, buddy, then you have to support the president. You can't support Jesus. No, fuck that. You got to support the president. It's a denouncement of faith, isn't it? Denouncement is probably the wrong word. It's a denial of faith. It's restricting faith. I mean, that seems to be against freedom. But CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, that's what communists are like. It's not about freedom. You've got America, you've got Western nations, England, most of Europe, Australia, New Zealand. I mean, we value freedom. First and foremost, the Americans do, or 50% of the Americans do. These guys don't. The communists don't. The communists are about no freedoms, lack of freedoms. They're about control. They're about, to the extent of mind control, to the extent of denial of religious beliefs and religious celebrations. I don't know, it's a couple of months back, I didn't really know too much about China. A few months back, didn't really know too much about China. But now, everything that I read about China, and it has been a lot, none of it's good. None of it is good. So none of it is good. I mean, I was going to say, you could be a part of an echo chamber. I am a part of an echo chamber. I refer to these same websites that are promoting their angle on things. And it could be that these websites that I go to are being unfair to China, but that's just not the case. Yesterday there was an article I went through where a Chinese representative was in a BBC interview, televised interview, was asked about the enslaved Uyghurs, and the representative basically denied that anything was going on. There's a lack of honesty. There's a lack of being genuine and forthcoming. They're not on it. They're not honest. I'm talking about the government. They're not honest, and it's very obvious that they're not obvious. They make it very clear. They make it very clear that they're not honest, and they're doing some incredibly nasty things. Like, with what they're doing with the Uyghurs. The allegations of what they're doing to the Uyghurs is absolutely disgusting. But what is known about what they're doing to the Uyghurs is extremely disgusting, or at least extremely concerning. We've seen the videos of hundreds of Uyghurs being shackled, heads clean shaven, shackled, and then marched by armed guards, hundreds of armed guards, to be transported to somewhere or other. It's extremely reminiscent of the Holocaust. Extremely reminiscent. I mean, where else have you seen people like that? Shackled, head shaved, underarmed guard. Well, you've got the Holocaust. You've got slavery, and you've got prisons, and so the only understandable option is prisons, because prisons aren't a walk in the park. So maybe it is deemed best to what am I talking about? To shekel prisoners. I mean that's not that far from normality, really. But were those hundreds of Uyghurs prisoners? Probably not. Well, I mean, they certainly weren't stated as such. Here's the next article. I'm kind of slowing down. We're 50 minutes in, and close to 50 minutes in. No one's here. No one said hello to me. I'm losing a bit of energy. My nose is blocked up. Feel a bit tired. I haven't had my dinner, and yeah, so probably wrap it up after this one. And I've not read this article. I read most articles. I've skimmed through this. This is a complicated subject which I'm not going to try to get ahead of. I'm not going to try to understand this one in full. But it says the 14 Tory ministers and 2 Intelligence Committee MPs who have taken Russian-linked donations. So as far as I understand, this is about the United Kingdom, and there are 14 Tory or Conservative ministers. So that's a minister is, basically like a senator, I think you would say. But they're currently in the government, Boris Johnson's government. They're sitting ministers, they're active ministers, and 14 of them have been linked to payments from Russia. Now, I'm not smart enough to know if that's clearly a bad thing, but it doesn't look good, does it? I mean, you had all of the hoo-ha about Donald Trump and the Russia connection allegations. You have all of that, and essentially no evidence of anything. But what a 4-year-long hoo-ha that was. And now, seemingly, according to this article, which I've not even skimmed through thoroughly, they have evidence against 14 current sitting Tory MPs, members of parliament, that have received funds from Russia. It's not good. That smacks of corruption, really, doesn't it? I mean, certainly that's what the allegation is. And they are members of Boris Johnson's government. I don't know too much about Boris Johnson. I can't say that I'm a supporter of him. But I do have conservative views, and he is a member of the Conservative Party. Beyond that, I can't really comment too much. I'm not in a knowledgeable position enough to pass on a meaningful comment. But yeah, seemingly, I don't know if this is going to be a massive scandal, but I would imagine that it will be. I would imagine it will be, because seemingly this, again, I've not read it through properly. There'll be other people that will do a better job of analysing the situation. This article's in the Daily Mail. It seems like it's not breaking news. It seems like there was an awareness of the situation. But yeah, 14 Tory ministers, MPs, members of parliament, and 2 Intelligence Committee MPs seemingly have evidence that they took money from Russia-linked donations. So make of that what you will. Sadiq Khan is okay. So here's a lady here, Elena Baturin, pictured with Sadiq Khan. Sadiq Khan is the mayor of London, and she is the richest woman in Russia, and the widow of Yuri Lukov, a former mayor of Moscow, who was sacked from his post by President Dmitry Medvedev amid allegations of corruption. So Sadiq Khan mingling, socializing with a very rich lady who's connected to corruption. or allegations of corruption. So yeah, there we go. Ruben Vardanyan is pictured with Prince Charles. That's Prince Charles, reportedly a friend of Putin. Came in for criticism last year after a bank he owned was investigated by prosecutors for alleged money laundering. Interesting. So basically, Russian oligarchs, corrupt oligarchs, if I understand correctly, are mingling with English United Kingdom's top tier elites, royalty, and senior politicians, and quite a few of them by the look of it. Peter Truscott, I don't know who it is, with his wife Svetlana Chernikov, the daughter of a senior Soviet military intelligence officer. Who's Peter Truscott? I'm guessing he's an MP. I don't know who he is. All right. He's a peer. He was in the House of Lords. Yeah. So again, I'm not in a position to analyze this properly. Let's have a look at some of the Daily Mail commentators. That's what I should have done. These guys, I mean, I'm going to say, you can disagree, but I'm going to say that these guys tend to have some good comments and tend to know what they're talking about to a degree. MPs are paid a salary and expenses. That should be their one and only financial source. There should be no dealings with any form of other business while they are MPs. I am all for trying to build relationships with Russia, but not while Putin and his like are in charge. Well, Cymru, which sounds like a Welsh name, I would be thinking that Putin's going to be around for quite some time. So if you do want the United Kingdom to build relationships with Russia, then these are the guys they're going to be dealing with. Peter from Carlisle says Kremlin moles. So he's basically suggesting that the MPs in question are moles. Yeah. So there we go. So I've gone through quite a few different articles. Let's do a quick summary. First off, we've seen the McCloskeys. The gun seemingly was deactivated, and that will hopefully be enough to get them off or get the lady off their charges. Seemingly, the crime lab staff essentially tampered with the evidence. They changed the evidence such that the gun that was unable to fire became able to fire. So that's evidence tampering by the authorities. We also saw the Canadian CDC encourage us to continue to frequent our local glory holes during the pandemic to support our local community. No kisses, no hugs, none of those gross stuff. Just stick with the glory holes. Thank you very much. Red Bull sacks, fires, gets rid of several high tier executives, including the chief executive officer, because they were trying to promote Black Lives Matter or certainly anti-racist rhetoric. Red Bull said, fuck that, we ain't interested. We're a drinks company, we don't want any of your political bullcrap. We saw Yelp promote black business owners, and that led to businesses having revenue increases of more than 7,000%, which in my mind disproves the everyone in America is racist theory, if there's such a huge increase. What else did we see? Oh yeah, we saw China forcing welfare recipients to take down any religious imagery and to replace the imagery by pictures of Xi Jinping and Chairman Mao. So no pictures of Jesus if you are a welfare recipient. You must, what's the word? Veneer? I don't know what the word is, but venerate? No, something like that. But you must have praise the Chinese Communist Party. Then what else did we see? We saw, what's this one? Oh, this is the one we just went. So the 14 MPs that have been caught with taking money from the Russians, so the Ruskies. So there we go. There's the live stream, just under an hour. Being kind of pointless in a way. No one's been here, but that's fine. That's fine. I've kind of enjoyed this nonetheless, and I'm actually quite impressed with myself. It has been on previous live streams when I've had no viewers, I fell flat pretty quickly because it's like, oh, what's the fucking point? But this time I've not fallen flat as quickly, I think, as quickly. So I'm quite pleased with myself there. Oh, I've got a couple of notifications. Oh, Zobeezy is live. Presumably he's not now. No, and he's taken down his thingies. Let's have a look at this. No one's watching now, so whatever. This is about IP2, and there's nothing interesting here by the look of it. So I will be closing down the live stream in about 30 seconds. Las Vegas, people sleeping here, there, and everywhere. Actually, there were some more articles that I was going to go through. What happened with them? Oh, what happened with them? Whatever. All right.